right, so if you can be kind, this is me, jet lagged out of my mind at the IFA trade show in Berlin. When I left, the weather forecast said it was going to be mild. Turns out it was about 100 degrees inside the trade show, and I was wearing a black long sleeve shirt, hence why I look like I just ran a marathon. But I was there to check out a vacuum demo. And as somebody who's checked out a lot of robot vacuums over the years, this particular one broke my brain just a little bit. And what I saw, at least didn't think it would be possible with the current generation of technology. And I want to tell you about that technology is, but first, thank you for not being mean to me in the comments about how I looked. But also, I want to thank you for your support all these years. It's my favorite thing to do in videos. Give you a chance to win, not 100, not 200, not even 300 or 400, but 500 bucks. I made it super easy. Leave a comment down below. Tell me the biggest mess that you've ever made in your house or your life. Watch the video all the way through, give it a thumbs up. There's a way to contact you either in your comment or on your YouTube page. We'll pick one winner at random, let it run for 10 days over to anyone in the world. Information though, will be down below. There was one thing there that I couldn't stop thinking about. So I've talked about them, you might have heard about them, but there's a company called MOVA. They are very new to this space. And they actually brought me out to Berlin to check out what they had. And yes, this video is sponsored, but they had this robot vacuum. You know, I'm just gonna show you. That is a robot vacuum growing legs, climbing over things. In fact, 3-inch obstacles with actual mechanical legs, and then switching to mopping with fresh water that somehow stayed clean the entire time. So like, let's say you spilled like a Coke on the floor. What this is gonna do is clean up that brown liquid and then put fresh, clean water into those mop heads so you don't see it all over the whole house and actually clean your floor. And what that technology is called, where it kind of puts out the fresh water all the time, it's called hydroforce. And I don't know quite how it works, but it's constantly spraying fresh water onto the mop head while simultaneously sucking dirty water into a totally separate tank so the mop stays clean all the time. We watched them demo it at IFA, showing it on kind of various gross things that you or your family would probably make on a daily basis. And the mop roller kept coming out spotless, which seems like a magic trick considering how gross floors are. And when it hits corners, a mechanical arm pushes it out even further so you don't get that gap along your walls that most other robot vacuums leaves. The mopping part aside, it's also a vacuum, probably primarily, and it's got to suck really well, and it sucks 28,000 Pascal units worth, which is a lot when you compare it to the competition. It'll pick stuff up that other robots will just push around. And the brush that extends out, they actually work too. I thought that was kind of cool. And you see something that at least thus far has broken most of the rules that you know about these machines, I think you start to pay attention. And apparently IFA thought so too, because the V60 Ultra just won the best in-home appliance at the show, which is pretty significant for a new brand, also significant because there was a lot of in-home appliances. So MOVA is a new company, but they're basically trying to automate most like household chores. So they had robotic lawnmowers, they had smart toothbrushes, they had kitchen appliances, they had a cat litter box that looked cool. I don't have a cat anymore, but it did all the gross stuff they usually have to do with the litter box. They had hair dryers that were modular. They really kind of took everything that people hate doing around the house and made it smarter, which I think is why this vacuum feels so different. My original plan was to film this video kind of going over it at their booth. That was usually what I wanted to do, but here's like a 3-second clip of what that sounded like. So I figured if I had to film it back here in the studio anyway, I was going to ask very kindly for MOVA to actually send me a unit to check out, and they did. So again, this is a Z60 Ultra. I've had it for about 3 days. What impressed me though was the carpet protection. So I know I'm talking a lot about mopping and that kind of stuff, but I use these things in my house. Most robot vacuums, when you mop, if you're lucky, they'll lift up the mop heads and they'll kind of drip water as they go and vacuum along carpets. This thing lifts the mop all the way up and then drops a physical shield over it, giving it kind of complete protection from the water dripping everywhere. I mentioned mechanical legs at the beginning. And look, like climbing robots have always and we've seen them before. They've always seemed kind of like trade show vaporware to me. But seeing this thing actually do it was, I mean, you can see it. Like, it's a crazy thing to actually see. They do have a marketing term for this one. It is called Stepmaster, but it's less about like it making its way up your stairs, and it's more about obstacle avoidance, kind of handling stuff that would trap other robots. It can climb over obstacles up to 3 inches high. As I was watching it go down in my jet lag phase, it looked like, you know, when you walk down your stairs and you forget that last step is there and you like stumble down, but you still make it. That's kind of what the robot looked like. But it did work and it did go down. Navigating is also really smart too. You kind of expect that for a robot that can climb stuff. Most robot vacuums have like a LiDAR sensor on top that can get stuck on things. MOVA thought of that too. The sensor actually retracts, so it can squeeze underneath furniture that other robots can't reach. And then it'll pop back up when it gets out on the other end for mapping. And again, it's not something you wouldn't use. Think of your couch. And when's the last time you vacuumed under your couch? Or if you have a robot vacuum, has it ever gone under your couch? I'm guessing the answer is no, but the V60 Ultra can do that. So it does a lot of stuff. The big question probably is like, how do you clean this thing? It's probably a disaster, right? It's probably a big deal with these things. It's pretty close to maintenance free. The base station does everything automatically. So things like hot water washing at 80 degrees, it'll dispense solution from 2 separate containers, and then do hot air drying. Even set different cleaning solutions for different jobs, pet enzymes for one area, and then stronger stuff for the kitchen. Basically, you really never have to think about maintenance. After 3 days of this thing, what they claim about the base station does appear to be true. All right, so the price, $12.99, which I know is not cheap, but it does seem cheaper when I tell you it was originally $4,000. So at just under 1,300 bucks, you are obviously paying like premium money. Actually, does the price sound better if I show it to you like this? So most expensive robots still use spinning pads that redistribute dirty water. This is doing something completely different. Again, fresh water cleaning, actual obstacle climbing, a really hands-off maintenance. And these are, I think, the exact things that people who use robot vacuums complain about. And I talk about my family a lot, but they cause real dirty problems. And the cleaning power like this should handle fur and crumbs just better than anything else. The climbing means it's not gonna get stuck on bowls and toys constantly. And the maintenance-free operations, you might actually trust it to work while you're dealing with everything else. If you set these robot vacuums to clean while you're at work or to clean while you're sleeping, I guarantee you, at least half the time, you come downstairs or come home and it's stuck somewhere telling you that the brush is clogged or ran out of battery or it got stuck under a couch. These are problems that MOVA solved. It's not perfect though, there are some downsides. It's expensive. The base station is pretty big and it's not magic. It's not gonna replace your regular vacuum for like deep cleaning or even, you know, stairs. But it does come with a 3-year warranty, which is longer than most robot vacuums offer. So MOVA's standing behind their product, which is important, especially for a newer company. So if the Z60 Ultra is a little too extra or too much money, MOVA also has the 50 Ultra Complete with pretty similar feature set for less money. Climbs about 2.5 inches, same dual cleaning solutions with pet deodorizer, slim design for under furniture. Not quite as capable, but probably a really good middle ground. Again, I have been testing and I've seen a ton of robot vacuum demos, and they are usually all hype with disappointing real-world performance. But what I saw in Berlin, and as for myself, has me generally excited about cleaning tech for the first time in a while. Talking a robot that actually climbs instead of getting stuck, washes its mop with fresh water instead of spreading dirt around, and a base station that does what it promises. What MOVA's built here really does feel different. I've only had it for 3 days though, so I can't talk about long-term durability. I think the real test is how it holds up in sort of my chaos over months. But so far, it is backing up what they showed in Berlin. If you want to check it out, there's a link down in the description. Plus, they've got 5% off through November. The Z60 Ultra Roller Complete, is the full name for it, launches in North America on September 16th of 2025. So you don't have to wait long, or maybe it's already out, depending on when you watch this video. I'm excited to see if this thing can finally deliver on what every other robot vacuum has promised and failed to do. But I guess we'll find out.